r/AskReddit. People who've had sex with celebrities, how was it? My dad dated Sarah Wayne Callies, Laurie Grimes from The Walking Dead, in high school. He defines her as a very nice girl. Truth be told, I don't think he remembers much of that relationship, but she came to our house party once when I was a kid, and she was always really nice to me and my sister. Edit. I think it's worth mentioning the irony here. She was only around when I was a kid, once or twice, when my parents would throw house parties, being 8 or 9. I just thought of her as another adult there and didn't really care. But when I was 13 to 16 and became a huge Walking Dead fan and never saw her around after that, I was so disappointed. There were points me and my mom would be watching the show and my dad would walk in and be like, "You know op, I dated the actress who played Laurie." "Yes dad, I know. If only there was some way to meet her." A friend was part of an actor studio / playhouse in the 80s. She said Jeff Goldblum has a huge dick and is an amazing lover. They did it a few times, but he let her down easy because his career was taking off and he was crazy busy. He was really cool and remembered her years later. Alec Baldwin was also hung, but was super hairy and sweated a lot. Like, it was dripping into her mouth. It was too hard to ignore the sweetiness for her to enjoy it. But he was hilarious, very bright and smelled good. Carrie Hatch, the bass player from Oingo Boingo, would scream, "I'm coming," really loud. Edit. Correction from my friend. Carrie Hatch was the drummer back when they were together. He broke her heart. A woman I worked with had a one-night stand with Captain Obvious from Hotels.com, whom she met at a New York jazz club. She pretended that she didn't recognize him in order to prevent being seen as a gold digger. She was hoping to get into a short-term relationship with him, and hopefully he would give her some money and buy her a Lexus, which she really wanted. Later she found out that he wasn't Captain Obvious, just looked very much like him. Close to 20 years ago, my roommate hooked up with a suicide girl who came to our apartment to stay for a few days. She kept name dropping all these celebrities she knew, like Slash and Trent Reznor, to the point we were like, "Why you lying?" Then she pulled out all the pictures of her with various famous musicians. Apparently she was the secretary to someone famous for producing music, and that was how she met all these dudes. Well, she was in a relationship with Maynard from Till at the time, and she left him to come live with us for a while because apparently sex with Maynard was just really ducking bad. She later left my roommate for one of the drummers for Slipknot because he bought her a house in Texas. My roommate worked for a grocery store and just couldn't compete with the money. She did assure him that the celebrity sex was still bad. It was purely for the house. My friend bragged to me about getting banged by Tone Loc, funky cold Medina guy. She was 18, but seemed proud of it. About 20 years later we were watching old videos and Tone Loc came on, and I asked her about it, and she said it sucked. He didn't shower after coming off stage, a little smelly, drunk, and gave a few pumps and was done. Edit. Thanks for all of the comments and laughs. My friend was young and really didn't have much to compare her night with Tone Loc to. Fast forward a few decades and she now realized it was not that great. No, we never slept with each other, and that is good, because I would not want to be compared to Tone Loc. I will let my friend check out this feed and see if she gets a chuckle also. Thanks everyone. My grandma is from Memphis and dated Elvis for a while before he became mega famous. She has tons of pictures of them together and has told me tons of anecdotes that I have only seen in a few other places. Edit. Wow, wasn't expecting this to blow up. My inbox is literally full and I can't reply to everyone. Sorry. I posted this right before bed and I'm just now getting up. I've seen only 6 of the pictures. I believe she had more, but she mentioned she only shows them to family now because some had been stolen. And yes, for those asking about age, Elvis would be 83 this year and my grandma just turned 79. So she would have been a few years younger than he and certainly very below 18. She told me lots of stuff, but for some reason the thing that sticks out to me the most, and always makes me smileys, that he loved bumper cars. 3 of the 6 photos she showed me were taken at different amusement parks/fairs and 2 of them were in front of different sets of bumper cars. Just thinking of a young Elvis laughing and ramming into my grandma makes me smile. Unfortunately I live over 9 hours away from her, so I can't just ride over and upload the photos online, and honestly I'm not sure if she would approve of that, but I will try and remember next time I go down there. I hooked up with the drummer of Slipknot when they were in town, twice. I was working at a strip club and he wanted lap dances. He paid me to do a lap dance for like, at least an hour. It was a ton of money. We bonded in conversation in that time. He invited me to hang out at his hotel, which I was still naive enough to not know if that just meant hanging out. I liked him though. We had fun, and he put me on the guest list. I went to his show the next night, went backstage, checked out the tour bus, and then met him at his hotel again. For the answer to how was it, he was good. It was fun. Edit. No, I'm not the suicide girl in Texas with the house. Before AIDS was a thing, a friend of mine slept with Christopher Walken. He was in town for one night and told her that's all they'd have. She was fine with that. She said he was a perfect gentleman and a very sweet lover. He kept telling her how beautiful she was and made her feel like a queen. Edit to state that the mention of AIDS was only to date the story. I should have just said it was in the early 80s. Thanks for the awards and all the comments. I thought this sweet little story would get buried. I have no more information. She's a lady and didn't talk about it more than I posted. This was nearly 35 years ago and she still adores him. It's nice to know that some celebrities are decent people. I talked to a girl once outside a music venue and we got to talking about the same topic, celebrities and shit. She said her friend had sex with Atriu from the Neverending Story. They had sex on the beach somewhere in like Costa Rica. I was like that's cool, I bet he's kinda attractive as an older man. And she was like yeah he was hot, but he gave my friend herpes. And I say, well I guess that's her Neverending Story. A little bit late to this, using a throwaway. I slept with Matt Healy from 1975 a few years back. It was ducking awful. He lasted about 5 minutes, proceeded to smoke all of my weed, and then spent about an hour talking about himself and why his music was groundbreaking and going to change the world. Edit. Wow, this blew up way more than expected, so I'd like to address a couple of things. I understand that Matt has a heavily devoted fan base of 14-year-old girls who basically see him as a god. Please stop sending weird shit to my DM. Sorry if this bursts any of your bubbles, but I will never understand why people love this guy so much. As far as self-obsessed, talentless assholes go, this guy tops the cake. I also said Matt, because no self-respecting adult should call themselves Matty. Again. Please stop messaging me. S.